What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be talking about the two best ways to make money online in Vidme. The two best ways we personally think, me and Jackson both, is job fairs and also DMing, social media, anything like that. So we're going to be talking about those two ways and how to succeed and how to get people signed up to make money.
Yeah, no, with Cameron, he's exactly right on that. So I think we'll start on job fairs for just anybody who's listening. So both me and Cameron have experience in that field, and job fairs we feel like is a really amazing way to go after VidMe because it's your best chance of getting the most people signed up in the least amount of time if you're going after in person. So what I feel like what job fairs really brings to the table is that the people who are already there are already trying to find a job or a source of income or a business idea, right? So the chances of them coming up and having an open mind and are trying to look into it, your chances of getting someone to sign up will be much higher because their purpose of being there is to find something.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think another really good thing about VidMe is it's really open to all ages. So,
Yeah.
for example, I was at a career fair late last month, late April, and it was awesome. Like we had, it was at a local college, so we had people fresh out of college, people fresh out of high school joining college, but we also had a wide range of other people. Older people, middle-aged people, everyone that's looking for a source of income, looking for a new job, or even looking for a side hustle. And I think the best way to explain it, and I think a great way we explained it at the job fair was we think it's a side hustle, but we think it's a side hustle that could very easily turn into a career and fast too. Just by looking at the numbers, which we'll get into later, but the numbers are incredible. So I think like we said, job fairs are a phenomenal way to get the word out there. And I think with job fairs too, you can get a lot of one-on-one time with people, and which I think is really good because you can really explain to them, really show them, really just trying to get them to know what VidMe is about in an easier way. I think like we'll talk about later, I think social media is a great way, but I think getting a lot of one-on-one time is great. I mean, there was 900 plus people that showed up to the job fair, and we had over 200 people show up to our booth. So that's 200 people right there that we got to have a lot of one-on-one time and really connect with them and really teach them about VidMe.
Yeah, no, with Cameron, he's exactly right on that because so the thing that I think is good about being in person is, I mean, like so from my experience with people online, they're way more skeptical of it because I mean, and honestly, that's just today's generation. Like, there's so many different things that are scams. There's so many different
Yep.
things that are just being thrown out there, links, right? So it's harder to get people like their head to click on it, right? There's like I found trouble just getting people to click the link without me being able to talk to them about it.
Yep.
But the good thing about in person is that you can explain it to them and you can also show them like with Cameron was and his friends were had a booth set up and they had some laminated piece of paper and the only thing it was showing was the numbers, right?
Yep.
And the and to me the best marketing strategy is show them the money first
100%.
because and especially if you're at something that's a job fair, career fair, right? Just anything like that because they're looking for an opportunity to make money, right? So if you show them the money first, then the chances of their brain giving you the time of day to talk or to show, right, or to click, it's much higher.
100%. And I think, like Jack said, that's an absolutely phenomenal strategy to get people to actually come up to your booth and actually get to talk to them. But I think another phenomenal way is just your booth in general. I mean, we had two signs made. It was those retractable signs.
Yeah.
We had two of them. Great. VidMe has great colorways. You can do a lot with them. And we just had them behind us, displayed behind us, and it showed what VidMe was all about, and just kind of gave like a rundown of basics. And people would read that, they'd see the numbers of how much money they can make, and they came right up to us. It was awesome. And another thing we'll get into it. I know Jackson has a lot of experience with this and actually has these are business cards. And I think business cards are a great
Yeah.
way to get the word out there and spread the word of VidMe. Jackson, if you want to get into that.
Yeah, no, sure. So the best thing that I think about business cards is you can have them on you at all times.
Yep.
So if you're somebody like of all ages. Like let's say you're 20 years old and you're going to the mall, right, or something, and you're going to the mall, and somehow the subject of Vidme comes up, right? Or you're talking to your friends about it, or your friend's dad, right? Just anybody. And but if you have a business card, and it just makes it really easy. You can just give it to them, and then it allows them to go on there. So what I would do when you're making your business card is you can have your signature, you can have the Vidme logo, right? The top part of it can be whatever you want, but it should be something that looks unique, right? And then at the bottom, you could do something like share, create, and earn, right? Just very short, very simple. And then at the bottom, I would do the most important part is a QR code at the bottom, right?
Yep.
Because the most important thing is that because the amazing thing about Vidme and the reason why me and Cameron both like business cards is because the selling part of it with Vidme does it itself, and
Yep.
basically like that's how it was created,
Those,
is so that the the brunt of the work is taken off of us having to be people in sales. Because I mean, let's be honest, there's not a lot of people who are super experienced in sales, right? And it's the same thing for me and Cameron. Like me and him had zero experience in sales.
zero.
But the amazing part about Vidme is the only thing they have to do is they scan the QR code and they go to the Vidme landing page, and it explains up there at the top. It'll have certain things. It has an AI chat box. It has certain things, and there's a bunch of different ways that for the person that scans QR code, as soon as they go to the landing page, to click, and then it will show them and explain exactly what Vidme is and what it's supposed to be doing, and
Yeah,
in very good detail.
I totally agree. And I think even like what Jackson talked about, you can have those at the job fairs and you can have them
Yeah,
outside of it. It's so easy. I mean, they come in bulk. I mean, you can get easily get 100 plus of those business
yeah,
cards and just hand them out at the job fairs, hand them out in public, hand them out wherever you go, hand them out to
yeah,
family members. And what Jackson's saying with the QR codes is everyone has a phone nowadays, and they're so easy to scan. I mean, they just pull out their phone, pull out their camera, and boom, it takes them right to the tools and right to the videos to learn what
yeah.
Vidme is all about. And I just think that that's absolutely awesome. It's just so easy, and I think like Jackson was saying, it just makes it so easy on us because like he said, we don't really have any experience in sales, really none at all. And so you can kind of really simplify it. And I think that's honestly one of the better ways to go about it is to keep it simple. If you're explaining Vidme to someone, keep it simple and let the landing page, let the resources, let the tools from Vidme just do all the work and take over 100%. And I just thought the business cards at the career fair were the way to go. I mean, we like I said, we had a lot of one-on-one time with people, and then what we did is we had our email, our contact information underneath, and they took it from there. I'm still getting contacted from them, just wondering about VidMe, just any more extra questions that they may have had, just telling me how excited they are for it, and just you can kind of keep in touch with them, and they can easily sign up from those business cards as well. So I think it's 100% a great thing to have at the job fairs.
Yeah, no, Cameron's exactly right. So also, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about something that happens in person. So if
Yep.
you're in person, so there's something that I've run into just a little bit, is how much they're paying per month, right? So it's $35 per month to be on Vidme and to be a Vidme affiliate. So the problem is there's some people that stare at that number and they're like, do I really have the $35 a month, or do I really want to spend it on something that I don't know a lot about, or I don't know if it's going to bring me success, right? So the if you run into that in person or online, just whatever, the best thing that I can say that I've learned from my personal experience is explain to them that it's supposed to be a one-time payment.
Yep.
Because so you pay your 35 and that'll be your 35 for a month, right? Well, so then you have 30 days to go out and get 5 people. And if you get 5 people, well then now your subscription pays for itself. So now it's free, and it'll be free for the rest of your life basically. So it is supposed to be a one-time payment. So how much money that you spend per month on it is completely it completely relies on
Yeah.
how many people that you're willing to go out and get and try to get for that first month. And if you're somebody who is not that worried about the payment, that's fine, right? Like if there's people who have the money, that's amazing. Then they can go out and they can take their time. But for anybody who is talking to somebody that doesn't have the money or is worried or skeptical, I would encourage you to explain it's one-time payment, and then explain to them that if they go after it for that first month, then they will never have to pay again. And actually, they'll find very much success, and then it'll start to bring them in more money, which then will encourage them to go and get more people and more people and more people as they make more money, which then helps you who signed them up.
Yeah, and we'll get into the income estimator later, and you guys can actually see how much money you can actually make off of it. But that's 100% true. The $35 a month, it should pay for itself very easily. Very simple. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone watching this knows five people. I mean, you and could easily get five of their friends, five of their family members to sign up. Very, very, very easily. And it just the numbers go up and up from there. But I just think it shouldn't be that big of a deal for the 35 because I mentioned this yesterday actually. There's so many courses out there that I think people overpay for, and
Oh yeah.
I
There's so many of them.
there's a lot, and I use like an example yesterday. It was a pickleball course that people are paying $39 a month for,
Yeah.
and he had 3,000 members, and
It's
all
crazy.
he does is like teach the rules of pickleball. And he had 3,000 members, $39 a month. So
It's crazy.
he's bringing in the money, but it's just like people pay ridiculous amounts. And another example for this situation is people are wondering, well, why not just go on YouTube? It's free. Well, YouTube's obviously making money somehow, and
Oh yeah.
obviously off like ads and everything like that. But they're also making money off their premium, and a lot of these social media platforms that are free, they have premium subscriptions, and
Yeah.
they're up there in the cost, and millions of people buy them. So
Oh yeah.
so I would not be worried about the 35. It pays for itself, and
Yeah.
yeah, well, 100%.
Well, because I mean, and like you also have to remember, I mean, you pay $35 now in today's economy to go out to eat or to go get gas. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
you, you
easily.
pay that 35 all the
Yep.
time. So like, why wouldn't you pay it for something that has the potential to be a lifetime passive income?
Yeah, and Vidme's it's a mix of all kind of different webs
Oh yeah.
platforms. I think the easiest way to kind of describe it is a mix of YouTube and Netflix. I mean, people are paying money for Netflix, people are paying money for YouTube Premium, people are paying money for Spotify. It's got me like
Oh
people are
yeah.
paying money for Disney Plus. I mean, ridiculous amounts. Like it's all combined in one. So I think, I mean, why go to any other platform? Just spend the 35 here and it pays for itself,
Exactly.
like we mentioned, and just use this. I mean, it's got everything. It's got movies. It literally is everything.
Yeah. And Cameron's right. It does have everything. And if you were going to pay the $35 for a course or for gas or for food or anything, why
Yeah.
not do it on Vidme? Because with Vidme, if you pay
Yep.
that 35, and let's say you go and get five people, right? And let's say that five people is all you get for the rest of your life for some reason, right?
Yep.
Well, now you have access for free. For free, you
Yep.
have access to tons of health and wellness things. You have tons of like business classes on there that are
Yeah.
done by like amazing people who
Yeah.
have had so much
Yeah.
success in sales, real estate, like whatever, right? And
Yeah.
it's just such a great opportunity just all around.
Yeah. There's so many great creators on this platform that are successful and can make you
Yeah.
succeed as well. I mean, I just think it's awesome. But Jackson, if you like, should we get into the numbers and
Oh yeah.
show
Yep.
them that? Yeah, for sure.
Completely. So the cool thing about the income estimator, I thought, was it was the first, at least the first that I've been a part of, the first like platform that I've seen that gives you the option to kind of play around with it, right? Like it's they're not promising, oh, in this amount of time you're going to do $10,000 a month, right? It's like they're not promising anything, but it's really smart because what their marketing strategy is you get to go and look, and if you go in and play with it, then at least what happened to me is your eyes get big very quickly, and you're like, whoa.
All right, so here's the first one, and here's the five. So
Yep.
here's the income estimator. So this is showing five people, and like I said, this could be anyone. This could be friends, family, anyone. I mean, everyone knows five people. And let's say they just get one person to sign up. That's $139 a month, and that'll easily pay for it and more. So that's where we're kind of getting at with the it pays for itself. I mean, it really does. And the numbers just increase and increase.
Yeah, no, the numbers go absolutely crazy. Like as soon as you get in here, just like me and Cameron will, in a minute we'll get to the bigger portion.
Yeah,
But just for now, because we're talking about how it pays for itself, we're just going to show you the base numbers. But I mean, so 5 and 5 basically, right? That means you get 5 people, and each one of those 5 people gets five. You get 130, like whatever he was saying per month, right? And
yeah,
so now
139 a month, which is
139 a month. Thank you. So now
yeah, a
you're
month.
making money, and now you're making money for being on the platform. So imagine you're getting
Yeah.
paid to have access to all of the things on Vidme. It's just crazy. And now here he's shown 10 and
Yeah.
10, which he'll go ahead and talk about that for
I'll
y'all.
show the 10 and 10. And this is a really important number too, because the 10, as soon as you hit 10 people, you get the 20% influencer bonus, which I think is the golden ticket, to be honest, to hit.
Yep. And I think that's actually 25 now, right?
Oh, it might be 20,
Yep.
but yeah,
Yep.
25%. Yeah, sorry. Good catch. So this is like we just explained. You get 10 people to sign up. Very easy, I think. I mean, that's one person, less than one person a month.
Yep.
And if let's say they just get one person to sign up, that's $1,700 a month you guys could be making. I mean, that's an absolutely crazy amount. And I mean, that 100% pays for itself. And that's where I'm kind of
Yep.
getting at. I think it's we'll get in a little bit higher numbers, but I think, I mean, it's very easily a side hustle that can turn into a career.
It's very easy to side hustle, and so for most everybody starts out as a side hustle, but then what people have to realize is it's only a side hustle till you start making a lot of money, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
but so I mean, just for that, so just 10 people. So if you just get 10 people, right? And I don't think that's going to be hard for most people,
No, I
to
don't think it
be
is.
completely honest. And especially in today's world, like for some of my friends that I know, there's people that have like hundreds of friends on social media that they talk to like all the time, and I'm like, wow. But so the cool part about that is, what would $1,700 do for a single mom that doesn't have time to go and pursue something, right? Like, it's a huge help.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but imagine that you had the $1,700, who for somebody who's our age, who's in school, right? We're both athletes, right? We don't have a lot
Yep.
of time. And but just to have that coming in, it gives us the opportunity to go and pursue some other things in business or some other stuff, right?
So,
It's a ginormous opportunity.
yeah, and I think this is honestly, I'm gonna put out there. I think this is one of the simplest affiliate programs out there for any social media. A lot of people
It
don't
is
know.
so
Yeah,
simple.
100. I mean, 100%. And a lot of people don't know this, but every social media platform has an affiliate program. I
Yep.
haven't seen this one this easy yet. I mean, you got
No.
to usually try to get in, everything like that. I mean, this is so simple. They simplified it so much just for people to succeed. And like we mentioned before, I think it's a side hustle that can turn into a career. And we'll show them the numbers right now, actually. So here is an example of 15 and 15. And this is what, a little bit more than one person a month.
Yep.
Um, and if they just get one person in, that's almost 5 grand a month you could be making, and 60 grand. So that's kind of when it starts kind of getting into the career part of it. I mean, that is
Exactly.
absolutely crazy. And it's just, I mean, you could that could be your side hustle. Honestly, it'd be a
Exactly.
crazy side hustle, but I very easily could be a side hustle.
And so here's the thing for me, like me and Cameron both have jobs, and it's like, would
Yep.
you rather go and work your job and get 10 to 15 an hour, let's say, right?
Hmm.
Let's say you're making 10 to 15 an hour. Would you rather do
Yep.
that, or would you rather have the chance to spend that time? So let's say for a month, right? I'm not going to have as much money as when I was doing the 10 to 15 an hour 5 days a week, right? But let's say that month I get 15 people, right? And then each one of those 15 goes and does the same thing as me, right? Well, now all of a sudden I'm making a lot more money, and
Yeah.
it's not a lot of risk. Like that's the thing. And
No risk.
there's a lot of people who, at least I've gotten questions about, is like, well, what if I sign up 15 and those 15 don't go and get anybody,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, yeah. I mean, you also got to remember too. This is a little not really off topic, but I mean, this is passive income. So what Jackson was just talking about with the 10 and 15, I mean, would you rather do that, or would you rather sign people up once in a while? I mean, that's
Exactly.
really what it comes
Exactly.
down to. I mean, sign 15 people up and they just get one of their friends, just one. They don't even have to sign 15. They just have to sign one person up. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, the more the merrier, but I mean,
Yeah.
I,
Completely.
I'd take 5 grand a month off that very easily.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I would take that.
100%. I mean, And then I guess I can show this one too. This one's, I mean, this one's still very realistic, 100%.
Yeah.
But this, I guess it'd just be a little harder to get to. So this is basically two people a month, and then they just get one person in per
Yep.
month. This is the career part of it, guys. I mean,
Oh yeah.
18,000 a month and 217 grand a year.
That
I mean,
is a
that is
lot of money.
absolutely incredible. That's just for 24 people. I mean,
No, and this is the amazing part about this is most of the affiliate platforms, just like Cameron was saying, like most all other social media platforms have them. It's just they rely on a following because you can't sell without a
yeah,
following on there.
yeah,
Uh,
and this you don't need a following at all.
you don't need a following at all. You could be somebody with 15 million followers, right? Or you could be somebody that is 65 years old, has never heard of social media in his entire life, and he could go
Yep.
out there and he could make crazy amounts of money off of
Oh,
this.
very easily, very
Yep.
easily. Jackson, do you want to get into the second part of social media and actually
Yeah.
promoting on
Yeah.
social media and cold DMing?
Yeah. So the cold DMing part, I have some experience in. It was one of my first methods that I was doing, right? And so I found some success with it, but in other cases, I found a lot of people being super skeptical about it, which is, I mean, it's just going to happen. But and if you're somebody that's wondering, what do I say, right? Which was me. Like that was the very first question I have. I'm like, I don't have experience in doing sales over the internet, right? Like what do I say? Like how do you form a message that's going to catch the attention of whoever you're trying to go from?
Yep.
And so back when Vidme was Social Goats, I went down to my tools, right? The tools in there, and they had a section, and it's just called a cold call to influence, right? And it was Mike or Chris or somebody on their team had written this step by step guide, basically,
Very
right? Of
professional.
a professional, completely
Yep.
professional looking, and it was like, here is what you say, and then it'd be written out, and then there'd be some blanks in there which you'd fill with the influencer's name, information, right? Like just that type of stuff to make it personal off of whoever you're sending to,
Yep.
which is the most important thing. It's like whenever you're sending to somebody, they don't want to feel like this is getting sent to 400 other people at the same time. Like what they want to see is you've done your research on their content and you actually have a message for them and how they make content. If I mean if that makes sense to people, because the thing you're trying to pitch is to them completely. Like you're trying to pitch to how they make content, why they should come to VidMe instead of other platforms. And so the cool part about that is if you're somebody like how me and Cameron are, right? Like we both have us social media accounts and we go and we post things about VidMe,
Yep. Yeah.
trying to just let people know about it.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is if you bring them from an Instagram or TikTok, right, to VidMe, well then you can actually earn an extra
Yep.
small commission from that.
Yep.
So
100%.
there's so many ways to earn off of VidMe, but if you're really focusing on the cold call, then I would say just make it super personal, do the research, and hopefully for VidMe, I don't think it's on there yet, but I'm sure it will be the little thing for cold call.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think it's. I don't think it's on there yet, but I think it eventually 100% will be.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it will be, but it's written out really well,
Yeah,
and it makes it
100%.
very easy to do.
Yeah, and so Jack's had a lot more experience with the cold calling or cold DMing than I did. But correct me if I'm wrong, Jackson. But I mean, you really don't need experience. We mentioned this earlier. You really don't need experience in sales at all to get people's
No.
attention. I mean, it's there for you. It's a phenomenal tool. It's written very well, and you just got to plug in the creator's name and go from there. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and eventually, I think as VidMe grows, which it 100% will, more creators are going to hear about it, and when they see people contacting them about it, I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, creators they talk all the time, and they
Yeah.
have a lot of creator friends as well. So it'll spread like wildfire. They're going to hear about it. When you
Yeah.
contact them, they're going to be all on board. I think that'll be the the final the cherry on top, I guess you
Exactly.
could say, and wanting to actually join and sign up.
Yeah, which is exactly what I think. It's going to be way easier for everybody as soon as VidMe hits the ground, it takes off, it
Yep.
starts to get going. Because
Yep.
for me, when I started it, this is when with social goats was just becoming a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
This was at the very beginning of this whole big idea that happened, right? So it was much harder for me to get people to listen to me because at that time, in most people's minds, it wasn't real yet. And the biggest thing is, as soon as Vidme launches, it'll have an app and everything, right? It will become real very quickly, and then people, most likely influencers, will have already heard from it. So like the most influencers, if they're a big influencer, and it doesn't really matter about your size, but as soon as you get to a point that they all go to the same conventions, they all go to the same things, you know,
Yep.
and they're all normally in contact with each other in some form or way. So if a big influencer has switched to Vidme, right, and let's say he's doubled his income somehow, right, like his numbers are going off the charts compared to when he was doing it on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, right? And let's say his numbers are going off the charts. Well, what do you think he's going to be talking about to all his friends, right? Like to
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
his other buddies. It's going to be like, hey, I've switched to Vidme. I'm doing way better with my income. I think you should give it a shot, right? So it's going to grow very, very quickly. And then how Vidme was designed, it's just going to explode for everybody from there, which
Yep.
is why it's important that as soon as you get into Vidme, to get going, to start trying to get your people signed up, right? Because at some point it's going to explode, and you would rather have started early, which is a huge
Yep.
opportunity,
Yeah. Get in
than
early.
start late. Exactly.
Yeah, and also what Jackson was saying about the creators and spreading it, and what I mentioned before is there's already huge creators on this
Oh yeah.
platform, and just an example, I think like someone that we both actually post on Instagram about Vidme, and I think Jackson, I think you might know him too. I think Sid McNary. I
Yep.
think it's a
Yep.
I don't know, they call him Sid. I don't know if I pronounced his last name right, but I mean he's already got, I think he's got like 40 something thousand followers on Instagram,
Yep.
and even Chris too. Like I mean one of the founders. I mean he's got a lot of followers too. But I mean they're
Exactly.
already posting about Vidme. Obviously Chris will, but Sid, he's already posting about it. Um, I mean, he's got followers. I mean, very successful guy, and
Yeah.
they're already posting about it, and they're all in. They're all in. They're going to post on it, and there is some big names that will be on this platform.
Oh yeah.
I've heard them around the grapevine. I don't want I don't think I'll mention it right now. Everyone watching this, they'll know at this point.
Yeah.
Because they'll be on the platform. So yeah, I mean it'll just spread from there. I mean from huge creator to huge creator, and you don't even need to be a huge creator to be on. We'll get into that later, but you really don't even need to be a huge creator on this platform as well.
Yeah. No. What Cameron's saying is true. I mean, in a few minutes, we'll get into not having to be a big creator, and like,
Yeah,
and if you're not, then that's really why we talk about the job fairs and things like that.
yeah,
But we can get into all that later.
yeah,
But the big thing about the influencers too is, like you were saying, is like it's not just influencers. Now in today's world, if
yep,
you have any sort of presence of fame or anything, like let's say you're a professional football, soccer, baseball, right,
yeah,
basketball, if you're anybody, you're already considered an influencer then,
yeah, 100%.
right? For brand deals and everywhere.
Yeah,
So the the limits of it has no limits in general, because it's open to every single type of person. And let's say that a professional football player, right, let's say that he finds it, right, and all of a sudden he's making a lot of money off it, or he's now bringing his presence to Vidme, right? Well, now his teammates will know about it, and then at some point, I would assume his coach, and then the general
oh yeah,
manager, and
yeah,
and
it'll
then the
spread.
owner will eventually find out about it. So
Yep,
imagine if the owner of, let's just say, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Well, let's just say the owner of them finds out about Vidme. Well, now Vidme is getting through the whole thing of the Eagles, and the Eagles have more reach than a lot of people in the world. And if the Eagles owner knows about it, well, who do you think he's going to talk to? The other owners,
yeah,
right?
and
It's like it's going to spread like wildfire from there.
100%. And Jackson's using the Eagles example because that's the type of creators we're talking about.
Yeah,
We're not talking about just not to like turn anyone down, but like we're talking big creators and
big people.
big names will be on this platform. So that, I mean, I think that was an awesome example, and like you said, it's just going to spread and spread.
Yeah. Well, and also the thing that people have to realize is, if that does happen, which I believe it will very,
Yep,
very
yep,
quickly,
yep.
I believe at some point, which I think
Mhm.
Chris has said this, is at some point it's going to reach 1 billion people are going to be on Vidme.
That's the goal. That's the goal,
That's
100%.
the
And
goal, and I
I
feel like
think
it's
it's
gonna happen.
a lot of people might not think it's a feasible goal, but I really do. I think it'll reach big numbers. I think it'll grow. It'll grow internationally.
Yeah,
I think it'll spread. It's an awesome opportunity. Awesome
yeah.
opportunity.
And what people have to understand is the more money that gets put into Vidme. So the awesome thing about Chris and Mike is
Yeah.
most of the startups of social media, right, is before they got rich. So most of these people
Yep.
got rich off of creating an Instagram, right,
Yep.
or creating a Facebook.
Mhm.
So with Chris and Mike, they've already made their wealth. The majority of it, they're set. They have phenomenal amounts of money. And so the cool thing about that is that they're not in need to take money
No.
from Vidme to support
No.
themselves, which they have the amazing idea because they're both awesome people and awesome dudes,
Awesome.
is to pour the money back into the platform for the users, which would be us. And the cool thing about that is the more money that pumps into it, like if the Eagles, the Steelers, the Vikings, right, like Bears, like
Yep.
if these teams like realize what Vidme is and they get on it, right? And now instead of them posting to Instagram things, they're posting to Vidme and they're on Vidme and they're paying to have Vidme do their brands, which
Yep.
I have no idea how everything could work. But I've in my head, I once heard about Vidme and everything, I kind of always had the thought of like kind of like how kind of like how Amazon Prime has been doing with the Thursday night games, right? Like at some point, if Vidme reaches a big enough status, it could also do that for people. I mean, it could be a way for you guys to watch sports or to watch the highlights of sports, right? Like
Yeah.
it has the potential to do everything, and the more money that gets poured in, is the more money for us to go out and get.
Yeah, and also, I mean, this earlier on, a couple months back, I actually thought this, and I actually just struck like the question again in my head is, which I know the answer to, but it's why creators will switch platforms.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's a very good
and
question.
a lot of people may think may wonder that, and I think the answer is they're gonna make a substantial amount more of money than they're making
Yeah,
on any other platform.
yeah,
I mean, and there's just it's not even about views or anything like that as a creator. I mean, there is just as a creator, there is so many different ways to make money on this platform. It's
oh
not
yeah,
just about views, it's not just about subscribers. It's not. It's not. It is, but it's not. There's so many other different ways to make money, so many different programs. It's just there's so many different ways. It's awesome, and I think that is one of the main reason creators will end up switching to Vidme, 100%.
So if you guys are watching this, right, and let's say you've just gone on to Vidme and you don't know a whole lot about it, you just heard from your friend or
Yep.
something, so you're on the platform and you're trying to check it out. Well, hopefully you've come across our video because our goal is we're just trying to help y'all have a better understanding of how
Yep.
to go and attack it and what Vidme is, right,
Yep.
and
And to
how
become
you can go and
successful.
earn off of it.
Yeah. 100%. Definitely.
Yeah, and the other thing that I was thinking of, which Cameron can bring up the numbers here in a minute,
Yeah.
is let's talk about if you find an influencer, right? So the
Oh
way that
yeah.
me and Cameron showed in the income estimator is what I would call the slower way, right? Like
Yeah.
like let's say that you go and get your 10 right, and then they go and get their 10 right, and you're slowly building like you go like 2 people per month and they do the same thing.
Yep.
Well, the other way of it is you find an influencer and then
I'm
the
gonna pull that up right now.
influencer goes and gets a bunch of people. So let's say this influencer has 1 million followers on Instagram, right?
Yep.
And let's say he gets 1,000 people to sign up,
Yeah.
and
That's all you need. That's
he
trust
gets
me, that's all you
he
need.
and the influencer gets 1,000 people to sign up, and each one of those 1,000 goes and gets five, which would pay for their membership. Which Cameron can bring up
Yeah, I'll bring that up right now actually. And then also
the amount for it.
to back off what Jackson's saying is we actually both do this. We both post on Instagram about VidMe.
Yeah,
And I think VidMe will eventually be one of the biggest platforms in the world. But I think we're still in the early stages of it. Obviously, the very early stages, not very early stages of it, but we're in the early stages of it. I think to use those platforms as a resource to get the word out there is a phenomenal way. And I think when you are trying to get creators in, and then you can maybe you're just DMing them so they can just click on your profile or like that. But let's say you're emailing them or something. Throw it and if you are creating content like Instagram about VidMe, just put your username in there because
Yep.
It's just such an easy way to get the word out there as well.
Exactly.
Posting on social
And
media.
to touch more on what me and him were talking about with the cold DMing is it helps a lot in my opinion. So if you've created an Instagram page and you've made a few posts about Vidme already, and in your bio you're like but below your username and everything, you say that you're a Vidme affiliate, right? Or like
Yep.
you're just something like that, right?
Yep.
I think personally it helps a lot to have a page
100%.
that has already been built around Vidme, because then you look way more real. Because what people can do, if they're really skeptical and they would like to go search out, well, they can go search out me and Cameron's page. There's tons of pages of people who are supporting Vidme, so it looks way more real if you have an Instagram page for Vidme and to just get Vidme out there. So if you're gonna use the cold DMing method, then I highly suggest that you go and make a page about Vidme, and then you contact them from your Vidme page.
Yeah, 100%. And what Jackson was talking about just a little bit earlier, I showed the pictures a little bit earlier.
Yep.
But that is if you're an affiliate and you're getting just people signed up. But we're talking about the content getting content creators in right now.
Yep.
And I have it pulled up on my screen right here. So we use the example of 1 million subscribers, and if they just get 1,000 of those subscribers to sign up, the content creator will be making 7 grand a month, which is
Yep.
absolutely incredible. And just because you sign that creator up, you'll be making 6 grand a month and $71,000 a year,
Yep.
which is absolutely insane and incredible. And
Which
that's just with 1,000. That's not if those
exactly,
1,000 get people signed
exactly.
up. So let's say I'll just use a smaller amount, I guess, as an example, because either way, the numbers would be phenomenal. Yeah. So if you get a creator in that has 1 million subscribers and they get 1,000 of them to sign up, I mean,
Yep.
shoot, you could even get a creator in that has 100,000, 40,000,
Yep.
30,000. And if they just get 1,000, you don't need 1,000 either. I'm just using that number.
Exactly.
I think it's very feasible for a decent sized creator to get
Oh
that
yeah,
many
no, like
people in.
whenever I was talking about the person that has 1 million, I was like, what's the lowest I can put?
Yeah. I think 1,000 honestly might be one on the lower side, but
Yeah.
100%. So let's say you get a creator and let's say, okay, let's just say like he has 50,000, but whatever, he has 1,000 that actually sign up for Vidme.
Yeah.
The creator himself will make 23 grand a month, $277,000 a year. And as the person from getting him in, it'll be making 8 grand a month and $96,000 a year, which is absolutely
It's crazy.
crazy. I mean, just by getting him in, I mean, that's
Yeah.
you got him in. That's all
Which
you got to
is
do.
which is the reason why I talked about the cold DMing could be so huge, because it gives you a
100%.
chance to, like, man, it like the cold DMing just depends on how much that you'd like to work. Like if you want to do 2 people a day, well,
Yeah.
then you can send 2 messages. Or if you want to do 200 a day and like push it, right? Like
Yeah.
let's say you have a few friends and you guys are all just
Yeah.
spamming out the DMs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, then you guys could potentially get a lot, because as soon as you get 10 first tier affiliates, then you qualify for the 20% bonus, which is where all the real money comes in, like Cameron was saying. And like that's when, if you get the influencers, that's the quickest way, because you have to remember, if you're somebody that doesn't have a big following, like me and Cameron didn't have a huge following at all when we first started.
No.
And so that is your ticket to let them sell for you. Like it's a big way to take the workload off your shoulders and let them sell for you by selling for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, I just think I think social media,
Yeah.
along with the job fairs and career fairs and everything like that, I think the social media is a phenomenal way to get the word out there, get creators
Completely.
in, and not even just getting creators and just getting people signed up by posting on Instagram or anything like that about Vidme. And I think the career fair was a phenomenal way to get people signed up, but I think the social media is definitely an easier way, or not,
Oh yeah.
maybe not easy. I think it definitely is easy. I think both are pretty easy. I just think a less time consuming is social media.
Yeah. So I have no idea about what your numbers of success will be as soon as Vidme gets big, because I feel like once it gets big, the cold DMing will have much more success than it will to
Oh,
start.
100%.
But the difference between the two, as like Cameron was saying, is one's harder, one's easier. They're both different. If you're going to career fair,
Yeah.
it's more work because you got to set up a booth and you got to buy a spot, right? Like there's stuff you have to do there.
Yeah.
But your success of how many people you're going to get that day
Yeah.
will be much higher than the cold DMing. But the cold DMing involves a lot less work, and you can do it just in any free time from anywhere.
And I think if you are cold DMing creators, I think the outcome of wealth is a lot more,
Oh
100%.
yeah, completely.
And if you're just signing people up off of like your Instagram videos or your reels, and they're just interested, so they sign up, I think that's another great way to get people sign up.
Yeah,
Maybe not in the amount of number of people. I think the career fair kind of fits in the middle. I think you will get a lot of people um signed up just because of the amount of people that are there and that actually come up to you.
yeah,
And I think it just fits it right in the middle. I mean, I think everything we mentioned is just an awesome opportunity, and I think it can make you
completely,
succeed
completely.
100%.
And I mean, like what people have to realize is, do you think you could get two people per month? And I think that the majority of people, if they went and tried, right? I mean, like, let's say
I
you
think I
have
very easily. I
your
think,
dad and
yeah,
your mom sign up, right? Well, then there's your two for 1 month. Like,
yeah. I mean,
it's not that hard.
it's like we were talking about, like spreading like wildfire, like
Yeah,
with creators. I think the affiliates should be able to too, because
yeah.
I mean, most of our parents, they have jobs, they get their coworkers signed up.
Boom.
Shoot, I started with just just like my close family members and friends,
Exactly. Same
and
as
it
me.
just spread from there. It spread. One of my buddies, like all most of my buddies play sports, so I mean they share it to their
Yeah,
teammates.
same with
They
me.
share it. They might have different jobs, like they share it to different coworkers. It just spreads. It just spreads, and I just think even starting just with like your mom and your dad, or like
Exactly.
aunt, your uncle, your two best friends. Like either way, it's gonna spread and it's gonna go
Yeah.
good.
And the reason why I mentioned the two per month is because, let's say you're a single mom or you're a full-time athlete, which I am personally. And like, I mean, like, if you don't have the time, two per month you can do completely. And if you do that two per month in a year, then you're at the 24 and 24 is what you would hope, if the two people you got and it just kept repeating and stuff like that. Well, then you're
Yeah.
making $18,000 a month after your first year. That's crazy
Passively,
numbers.
passive.
And the thing,
That's the good one thing to remember.
it's
It's passive
crazy.
income, guys. I mean, I think that's the best way.
Yeah.
Uh, Best way to make money nowadays. 100%.
Which is the big thing for me about Vidme is it can truly help everybody.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how much time you have. It doesn't matter where you are, what your job is. If you have experience, if you don't, it can help every person in every situation have a form of financial freedom to their lives.
Yeah, and I think with this too, with Vidme too, is this is one of the social media platforms. I think that it truly is and tries to be a great community. I
Exactly,
mean,
which is
like
really
I
important.
didn't like I didn't know Jackson before this. I met him off Vidme. Like
Yeah,
it's absolutely
same.
crazy. I met all. I get a lot of like DMs about Vidme, and it's just we talk from now on. I mean, I'm in groups. I'm in Facebook group. I mean, it's
Yeah,
awesome. I mean, we're all in it, and we're all trying to succeed. And I truly think everyone can succeed that's in on Vidme.
yeah.
Social media experience or not.
Well, hopefully whoever's watching found this podcast, this video, very, very
Yeah, for
helpful.
real.
And we are going to be making more, and we hope that you will tune into those, because we're
Yeah,
just
for
going to be
sure.
talking about more personal experiences and more ways that you can earn on VidMe, so you can maximize the potential of how much you can make.